This the link up. This the link up. This the link up. Welcome to the link up. This the link up. This the link up. This the link up. Welcome to the link up. Oh.
So that's the way we start. Right?
We gotta give a lot of context to that statement there. But
you see, when they hear like none of that going to be in the episode. They just hear the laughing and whatnot.
Oh, okay, all right, that was good.
So we started out this episode laughing because there was some jokes that happened right before we really went on air, but
on air.
We not live, but I mean we're recording and people probably gonna see this unless something happened and we gotta start over the episode or something.
That's true.
Hopefully that don't happen, but
that is true. But speaking of live, quick before you continue, King, shout out to everybody that had watched the live stream last week. Mm-hmm. We appreciate all you. We appreciate the feedback that we had get, and we're probably going to do it again soon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we are.
You got something in your face.
The mic. The mic is in your face.
Can we pause that?
Tell him I do something with your face.
I don't know. I just hear face, so like I didn't.
Now I know how you really feel, Kana.
Alrighty then. So welcome back to the Link Up Podcast. This is episode 101, if I'm not mistaken.
Donations in the
First
building.
episode of our first episode in the hundreds then.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like Kana was saying, shout out to everybody who actually came and was there for the live stream of our 100th episode, our milestone episode and all of that.
Shout out Ricky too.
Yes, providing his question and entertainment first segment.
Actually
entertaining first segment by calling in and whatnot.
I sure Ricky at one point was like, yo, screw all this typing. Let me just call, see if these random answer.
And shout out to Woods as well for, being the live stream operator and whatnot.
Kana
as well for, some periods of it.
Mario will be proud.
Living it.
That's debatable.
But yeah, for those who may not know, this is a podcast with your host, Mistuh King, myself, Mistuh King. We got Kana Woods and Rashid here in the building because we didn't really intro properly.
Hey, but that was a good way to put it in there though. That was nice.
So that's who he is. This is Link Up People. We here to talk about news, pop culture, whatever we feel like talking about that was interesting in the week and all of those type of things. We ain't did that full intro type of thing in a long time.
Yeah.
Because people just know like, this is Link Up now. It is what it is. So, tune in. If you're a first time listener, this is the first episode you're watching. We apologize for all the long conversation that going on before we really get into the meat of anything. But this is what the Link Up is. So, if you're not a fan of this, then this may not be the place for you.
But yeah.
Because this is how it usually goes, basically. But anyway.
Before we go into topics, right?
See, this is how it starts.
I know. But I gotta let it out of my system. So we had 101.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You all see the 101 donations way back?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I think I had a VHS.
I think I had one. I had it as well.
Did they ever show 101 of those dogs?
I think so.
Who was counting all the puppies?
It had looked like a lot.
Exactly.
It was a lot of dogs.
No, but I wouldn't be
101.
surprised if one time I stay home during the summer and like attempt to count. I have a strong feeling it's at least more than 50 drawn on screen.
I don't know if
it's actually 101.
I'm going to do some research and have a follow up to this, and then we could also talk about the 102 on the 102 because they make a sequel. They call it the 102. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Research on both of them at one time and then just tell us the answer. Because I'm not that pressed about 101 nominations or 102. But you seem to care, so you go do the research and report your findings.
It just sparked into my brain.
Plugs, y'all.
It was a thought.
Hey, big up to
Rashid on point. Take it away, Kana.
Yeah, I guess since I gonna start. There's y'all like for those who've been listening. There's a party on Monday. Jesus Christ, I can't talk. Sorry,
Sunday.
I tell you.
That's Sunday and Monday.
No, but I talk. Doing Monday first. Monday, there's Curious in John Doe. Brought to you by Sir Concepts. Hip hop, R&B, urban, Dutch dance scene. And then on Sunday,
that's the big event.
Well, I mean, it coming before Monday, so I kind of should do it the other way around. But anyway, it's mine, so I feel it's more important. There's Reckless every Sunday in Brazil Bar. If you want to get your soca fill, we also do Kizomba, Zouk, well, St. Martin / Caribbean version of Zouk.
Real Zouk.
Dancehall, hip hop, R&B, same shit as like your regular we would hear in St. Martin. So yeah, every Sunday it's free entrance. Come true. I understand the weather is a little bit shitty, but you can get warm inside.
And the thing that I'm add to it is the Mistuh King LP. It's still on the way, still being worked on. Still, the tentative date is January 8th, although I'm still busy with some mixing. Hopefully, I'm still aiming to get it done on that date. I think everything should be done by then. But, you know, if it doesn't, it might be pushed back, but still be on the lookout for it. It's going to come on in January for sure, either way. So still be on the lookout for the Mistuh King LP. Coming soon.
Woods?
I have nothing to plug.
All right.
One of those days.
Well, weeks, technically.
So since all the plug-in is out the way, now let's start finally at 6 minutes in.
Hey, 6 minutes, that ain't not bad.
Let's start the first topic.
That ain't not bad.
So the first thing we could get into is, I guess, this chair challenge. This is something that we basically, before we started recording, we conducted our own home experiments and did our, you know, scientific analysis on
How
it.
about we give context first? What the challenge is?
And I was just going to get there. But
Okay, my bad.
Let the man speak.
the chair challenge basically is this thing that's been going on. Because, like, I saw in some of the comments that I saw on videos of the chair challenge, which is basically this thing where you stand with your face to the wall, you take 2 steps back and make sure your feet line up, and then the idea is that you're supposed to slide a chair under you and attempt to stand up, like lean forward. Once you step back from the wall, you lean your head forward, you slide a chair under you, and you pick the chair up, and then you're supposed to try to stand up straight, like lean back, stop leaning over, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly women can do it, men can't, and there's explanations about the center of gravity or center of mass, and these supposed to be the explanations as to why it can. But Kana just did it. So it's nonsense.
Either
End
this
the
is
story.
bullshit, or Kana got some feminine features and he ain't tell us
maybe
it.
that's the other conclusion.
mean-
Maybe Kana secretly a woman and he just ain't tell us.
Whoa, boy, that's a long clip.
I don't know. I
Pause.
can't.
Pause.
I have no opinion. I have no comment
that's
on
what a
that.
penis is supposed to be, right?
It is. It's
Well,
like,
that's a hell of a long clip.
But
That's
I
the case.
have no comment on that. I have
But
no
yeah,
opinion on
no.
that.
Honestly, this whole challenge come from me, obviously, which is why I did it. But I see it, like King had say on my social media and whatnot, and like from the videos, they had seen some decently big fellas, pause, size wise, as in like they in shape. They've been going to the gym like 5 times a week, and they just couldn't start up properly. It didn't make sense to me. So I was like, wow, maybe, you know.
maybe they were skipping like this.
Cause I was just
That
gonna
could-
say as
that
well,
could-
like
I ain't a skip like this, so I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. So sometimes
Yeah, but
like,
you
it
still
just don't
like
happen.
proportionally like.
cause that's what I'm gonna say. For those people, like if you like bodybuilder, if you like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime type of looking, one of those type of dudes, I could imagine it might be a little tougher. Because there's a lot more weight on the upper body to lift,
Yeah, but you're
especially
supposed to
if
have
you
a lot
don't
more
have,
muscle to be able to lift it up too, no?
especially if you don't have the proper leg muscles, like you like would say, if you were skipping leg day and you are one of those people who just mainly work on upper body and you got a big upper body but your legs ain't really your focus,
And then you got a chair that also has its weight, and then you're also putting like
the gravity.
You're
I
making
working
it.
against
I
gravity.
think I had to wear baggy pants for no reason.
But basically, I could see that adding more difficulty to it if you're one of those type of people. I just don't know how much.
Yeah.
'Cause I mean,
you
based on
essentially
how
put yourself
easily you
on
do
balance.
it, yeah. Based on how easily you do it, I don't know if
I mean,
it'll
you see,
make that
that-
big of a difference.
That's the thing. I don't know if I do it properly because like I legit like at the first time I had to do it, I used my toes. Like my toes helped me like stand up. But like the second time I used my abs and like
But
yeah.
I don't think there's no rule regarding like
How- You
which
just have to
muscle.
stand up,
Yeah, with them mechanics or whatever supposed to be coming from.
You're just supposed to just stand up.
Mechanics.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. The chicks in the video had looked like they had stand up. They had stand up a little bit easier than I did. At least it feels so to me.
And people have been saying it has to do with like the foot size because if like men tend to have bigger feet, which would put them at a further distance away from the wall than women were having on average, I guess, smaller feet and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I mean, all the women and the angle was the same, so would it matter that much of how far out there is from what?
It depends how flexible you are. Because, like, if you're really flexible, if you're a person who can't, like, touch their toes because, you know, your
I
back
can't
kind
touch
of
my
stiff
toes.
and stuff like that, like, you wasn't a 90-degree angle. Like, your legs and your back wasn't a 90-degree
That's the
angle.
thing. But that's what I was
Like-
saying too. If it was a 90-degree angle, I'm not too sure if I would be able to stand up now. We're gonna try that after TV.
Want to try it now live in
No,
front of the
okay.
camera?
But
Yeah.
that's a lot of logistics.
Yeah,
So,
that
the
does
camera
moving
got
things
moved
around and mics and all
it's really not.
It's fine for
necessary.
now.
I mean, we could do that afterwards.
I'll
And
like,
add it in the end. Record from a camera.
if the camera still has battery by the time we're done, maybe we will consider
we could consider
But
that. But
if
Yeah,
you
we
want,
Record it on the phone and we post it later on the
Link up
IGs.
IG.
oh then, hey,
we
that
could
about
do
idea,
that.
extra
We could
content.
possibly do
Hey.
that. But
Yeah,
I
I
was
guess we
saying
can.
some nonsense.
Yeah. It was
In my
interesting.
opinion, I think it's bullshit. I mean, it was cool seeing it. It just cannot disprove it, cannot debunk it.
I mean,
that's
we-
all the science we need.
Yeah, true. I mean, we're going to test it later anyway again.
Hey, it was a first for the Link Up podcast.
So I'm
okay?
reserving-
Normally we just talk up yes.
I'm reserving my judgment.
And I don't think this is too far from talking about
But, yeah.
No, but I mean, at
It is
least
the science
we
we
made
basing
an
it on.
attempt to do it.
I'm
So it
reserving
was
my
better than
judgment
just
for
talking
when
up
Kana
yes.
try again.
But anyway, next one, King.
Baby Yoda.
Okay, now
No
this
segue.
is the
They
vegan buy.
did this woods area.
Yeah, this is vegan buy.
Okay, so
How do you feel about Baby Yoda?
I love Baby
Is it
Yoda.
really Baby Yoda? Do you know?
I mean, I
do
don't
you
wanna
actually
go-
watch the thing.
I watched.
Mandalorian, whatever.
Yeah,
it's
I've
from.
watched a couple of episodes. I
No idea what
wouldn't,
the fuck are you talking about?
but so
It's some
the
new thing that's
Mandalorian
in the
is
Star
a.
Wars universe, but what exactly is it? Like after the movies? Is it continuation? Like where
It's-
does
How
it?
could it be after the movies if it's Baby Yoda?
If it is indeed, because I saw some stuff talking about it, like it's not exact. We don't know if it is Yoda himself or
We don't know
is
that.
somebody
We
from
don't.
the species.
Yeah, we don't know.
that
We don't
Yoda
know
is.
for sure
Okay.
what because it's
Okay.
it's in the timeline for sure. Because everything that Disney puts out Star Wars related is canon. So it's in the timeline, but we don't know if it's really him or if it's someone from a species. It's not.
So
It hasn't
the
been,
episode,
or maybe,
that he actually,
it has been explained, but maybe I didn't reach to that episode yet.
because that was one the next thing. Like, has the episode already aired where he appears? Because this was like a still image or whatever.
No,
from
it's
it.
like multiple stuff.
But-
There's multiple stuff. Of
Oh, okay. I didn't.
I
I just
only-
been
I
seeing
only see
like
the
this
one with
one
him
picture.
looking up.
You have the
Yeah.
one with the spatula, with the spatchy spatch?
With the what?
I don't think so.
No,
I just know there's this one picture
I
that's
think I saw
been
that one. Yeah.
going around and where all the memes were made out of with his
Oh, I thought
eyes.
people had just put the spatula inside.
Yeah.
But
But that's why I was asking if you saw the one with the
Ah.
spatchy spatch.
yeah,
Me just like there was
Yeah.
one funny one with like the text is with that same picture. The text was me looking at my boyfriend cooking breakfast and then me holding the spatchy spatch to help him.
Okay.
It was stupid.
Okay.
yeah, the one I had see with that one was me waiting for my mother to tell me to flip the pancake.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
I like that one.
Or like it was like a 6-year-old me waiting for my mother to tell me to flip the pancake, some shit like that. that one was saying,
Spatchy spatch.
That other one was retarded.
No, I mean it's funny, but I bungled it.
Okay.
Baby Yoda. I don't think there's much more to say on
Yeah,
Baby
it
Yoda.
is in.
I
it
just
turned
love.
into
I just
memes.
love it exists. That it exists. The memes are funny and
My meme game must have been really far enough because I don't, these shits will just come out of nowhere. They'd be like, yo, what? That like this whole fuck gunman in She-Hole? Where the fuck that come from?
I don't know.
I don't know what you're
What?
talking about.
Okay. See,
I
I
don't
the
think I see
only
this meme.
oblivious one then. Obviously, it seems to be this. I think it's soca song. I don't know what kind of soca, but a soca song called Gunman. I don't know, a gunman. The whole thing is the man will be saying gunman in She-Hole.
Wait.
And-
So he's a gunman.
I don't know anything more than that. I was really hoping you would have been able to
explain it.
fill me
He's a
in.
gunman and he's in
I
She-Hulk.
don't. It must be
That's
because
as
she
much
was a
information
gunman
as
in
we
She-Hulk.
Is the man with the gun?
Stop.
Does he have the gun in his hand when he's in the hole?
Stop. But yeah, so obviously, you don't know.
I don't want to
Yeah,
stop
I know
no.
No,
nothing
stop
about
it. Stop it.
I ain't know nothing about the gunman or a hole and what is in it. And I haven't seen this meme, so if it is a thing,
But
it's on different
Some
people
of the memes
timelines.
them be killing me, like the one with the cat. Y'all know
Yeah,
the
that
cat.
they've been killing.
Oh, with
the
the white woman and the cat.
Yeah,
the two women
it's,
and the
it's
cat.
overdone now, but when I first saw it,
A lot of them was funny,
Damn
and
cat.
then you
Yeah,
had
a
the
lot,
other
a lot
one.
of it was funny. I ain't
I'm
gonna
gonna
lie.
tell my.
Cat boy.
Then after that was I'm gonna tell my kids this is
This is
whatever.
Lil Wayne or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah, that was
And then
hilarious.
That was
everybody
funny.
started
That was
do-
funny for like a couple of days. After
The
a while, it
problem
was,
was
like,
everybody started doing the meme wrong. Like that was one of the few memes I could co-sign. Then everybody took and like started using it in ways that it wasn't
meant
the
to be
joke.
used.
Or like because if maybe I got the wrong interpretation of it, but to me the origin of that, what it originally was like a joke about the way white people whitewash history and that type of thing. And it was like pro-black people on Twitter and whatnot basically saying, you know, kind of in reverse of that, I'm gonna tell my kids this was whoever, and it might be
okay.
like I'm gonna tell my kids this was Elvis, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a picture of a black person. Basically, like doing the reversal thing of what they did throughout history. That's
then
where it started,
then
and then
it's
people
become a
just
general.
I'm gonna tell my kids this is somebody, and it's like it lose the point. Was like what was supposed to be the joke here. If you,
I
like,
mean,
you telling your kids,
some of them,
Some of them are
was
funny.
good, though.
Like when you look
Some
at
of them
like a
was
fat
good.
man with braids and got tattoo on his face, and they said, "I'm going to tell my friends, my child, this is Lil Wayne." It was funny. It made me giggle. You understand? Like,
Yeah,
when
I
it started
agree
turning
with
into
that
that, I was like, okay, people just like this is what the internet is. People just
I mean, I didn't know about the origin about it because
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
don't know how-
When a meme pops up, I don't
That's
look
where,
at
like,
where
all
it
the-
starts. I
that's
just
where all the
But
early
I just
ones
enjoy
was.
it.
according to some
It was a
doc-
lot of those type of things in the early ones. You have a picture. I'm gonna tell my kids this is Elvis or this is whatever historical.
It's all
white
like a
figure,
Twitter
and
thing.
Yeah,
it's
that's where it
between,
came from.
It's between Twitter or 9gag. Not 9gag. 9gag was like 5
Reddit?
6 years ago.
Yeah,
Reddit.
I was just about to say you on
Reddit.
9gag.
Yeah, I was on 9gag.
When someone tell me they still use 9gag, I automatically assume they're a pedophile or something like that.
Wow, that's what 9gag.
That's
now?
extreme.
I mean,
That's what 9gag turned into. I thought it was just jokes. I didn't know. I didn't know that was pedophile central.
that's just a weird thing to throw. Like, yeah, I got an account on, like, or something. Like, yeah,
So that was pedophile central. Though.
Yeah, I
I
find
did
so.
that.
That gotta be a vegan thing.
You just
No,
put it on the vegans like
don't lump them into this. Don't lump them into my stuff. It's my stuff.
yeah,
This is all me. This is my.
Jesus.
This is all me.
But since we on this topic of memes, I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
That was a good one, though.
I see what you
That was
did
a
there.
good one.
But we're not going there now. Not right now. Like I was trying to transition, since we're on the topic of memes, this other one that you had also suggest, this okay boomer thing.
Yo, I secretly think, right, that is like one of the most best.
One of the most
Things?
best. We just
Yeah.
gonna butcher the English language.
I know.
We're from
Podcast.
Sydney.
Like
from
we
the
from the
islands.
Caribbean, dog. We
That's right.
butchering English from the start.
That's
Let,
what it is.
leave me be.
talk about that on 99.5.
But why I think it's one of the best things ever, because like
I'm tired.
no, what happening with that? Basically, what is okay boomer? It's a way to dismiss like quote unquote either older people or just conservatives in general, because they tend to be the older population.
Generation.
Yeah. It's a way to like say no. If someone comes to you and say, "Look, I don't think climate change is real," it's like, okay, boomer. Like,
Why boomer?
because boomer is the
Baby
generation
boomers, it
of
refers to the generation, like
Oh,
always
wow.
millennials,
Oh, wow.
Generation
So, like,
X,
the baby-
Generation
the baby
Z.
boomers?
yes.
Yeah, because that's the generation before us. That's generally who would be like would say the older people that would hold some of the conservative views.
Yeah.
I've seen it mostly like what he said. It's mostly been used in climate change type of context, but it's just
I think
become a
that
general thing
that's
for
where
like
the-
if you saying any kind of conservative views. It's an appropriate response.
Yeah.
To just if you're just trying to dismiss it, troll them, kind of like okay, whatever you say, go about your business.
Because the effect that I mean it passed, but people say using it, but the effect that it had in the moment was amazing. Because then you saw all the boomers, like articles were being written. I was like, the boomers explaining why okay boomer is bad. For me was hilarious because it's like it's actually affect because like boomers
It
usually
did
just
its job.
dismiss everything. It's like yeah, we don't care, you know.
But
But
supposedly the anti-snowflake community, it's all generation millennials and Generation X's
Yeah.
that are the sensitive people that
Yeah.
let things get to the skin and we outrage about everything. And I see where you're going with it.
So it was the reverse with this one.
It was a moment in time that I just
Okay, yeah, that one completely escaped me. So I have no idea what.
It's just something I've been up hearing in comments. Like I seen it. It wasn't widespread. It wasn't like the cat meme or something like that. That just was everywhere.
It was a brief,
but it was there.
Yeah.
It was noticeable. At least I saw it. I probably might still come across it now and then in certain comments. But
I never see anything.
I even used it once.
I think that is that's not surprising.
Nah, you would use it.
I don't have that much contact with people like that.
Woods, you watched the Game Changers documentary?
Yes, I did.
I was just thinking about
And I
that
also
because-
just saw the recent Joe Rogan podcast with the guy from Game Changers and Cresser.
You watched the full thing?
Yes.
That was the most annoying debate ever.
You watched
Like,
the whole thing too?
I couldn't watch the whole thing.
You had to
because,
watch
like,
the last 2 hours, man.
I tuned in.
Whoa.
Okay.
I was taking a man and say like, yeah, but you got to
No, but
watch
look,
the
the
last
thing
two,
is,
like,
like,
It's
episodes.
a 3 hour podcast.
but the thing is,
These
like-
things usually 3
So you have
hours.
to watch the rest of the episode. Is what you're telling me.
No, but the thing is, like, with
I watched like an hour and a
because I have
half,
YouTube
and then I was
music,
like, y'all, the bigger. Okay, for a little context, basically, Game Changers was this documentary that recently came out. I think it was on Netflix because I didn't watch it.
Oh, it was no,
Was it on
it
Netflix?
came on in the theaters and then it eventually went to
No, okay.
Netflix.
But anyways, a documentary that was about vegan athletes and dispelling some of the myths and stuff around whether you could be like
Fully vegan and be
be
healthy,
a pro athlete and those
Yeah.
type of things, or a top level athlete living a vegan diet and all of that. So it's, in some people's view, it was like looked at as vegan propaganda, like a what the health or one of those type of things that's just super pro vegan and kind of misleading the things. And what happened was there was this dude Chris Kresser who was I guess not what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, he was debunking it because before the episode we talking about, there was a Joe Rogan podcast where he just had the Chris
Dismissed
Kresser on.
everything that was
and he
on
was
it.
he was basically debunking a lot of things, saying he overstating certain things, and then after that, he had the dude who actually made the Game Changers documentary on the podcast with the Chris Kresser guy, so that now you could actually talk about whatever discrepancies you had, and he could explain his side of the case. He could explain where he come from with the debunking and stuff. And it was the most annoying conversation to listen to because
The first hour was annoying.
they wouldn't let none of them want to let each other speak, and there's
Yeah.
this pettiness where it's like, I'm not gonna acknowledge you and I'm gonna just speak to Joe, when it's like the dude right next to you and like trying to get your point. Like
One of those like, please tell him. that he
yeah,
can-
literally, like that's really what the conversation felt like for a good bit in
For
the
an
beginning.
hour,
and I
it
was
was
like,
like
yo, I
that.
can't do this shit because they stuck on this one point for so long because they arguing. It felt like us in a moment where it's like
Oh, hey, I wasn't gonna say it now.
when
I wasn't
nobody
gonna say
listening
it,
to
but-
each other and we just trying to say what we saying to prove rightness, and that can. It
Okay,
was
it
the
sound
most
like the old
frustrating
us.
shit to
How about-
listen
how about
to.
we say
In
that?
a-
Sorry,
oh,
go
in
It's
ahead.
just
the
more
first-
intellectual and using like
the
Facts.
first hour it was like
Yeah.
that, but then eventually it became like a legit. Okay, can you put this line?
And then the man
And
was
the man, like, the man-
forest, so you don't know how to read a forest plot and shit like that.
Yeah,
like
you-
when he stuck on that point, because I understand homie frustration. Guy, he was coming with this thing like, how you trying to debunk my shit, but things relating to the data that in
That's
like,
really important to the conclusion you
Yeah.
can't even read.
You,
And
you don't know how
and
to
you-
decipher the data and stuff, but you debunking my shit. Like, nigga, how the fuck can you tell me anything wrong with my stuff and you can't read a forest? Like, he just stuck on this forest plot for a good while,
Yeah.
being disgusted, being frustrated with this man. I'm like, how dare you have the audacity to tell me my shit wrong and you can't read like, it was the most
Yeah, the first
petty
hour,
academics
I could
supposed to
understand
think.
because the thing is, this man, and I was even not arguing, but it was like I had a discussion with people on the comment section.
Why?
Because he's Woods.
You have time. No,
No, babes,
Like,
I have
like-
YouTube music. First of all,
no, but you obviously have time too.
I mean, yeah, but I listened to the podcast while I was just like
Doing stuff.
cooking and cleaning up and washing. So like 3 hours goes by fast when you actually doing stuff while you're listening to something. Instead of listening to music, I chose to listen to that.
listening to it and taking your time to go ahead right back. And
No, that was
reply to
later
people.
on.
But you still got time.
Bitch, when you're on your bed, you're not on your phone. I have a lot of disposable time now. No, I don't have to be thinking about chatting with people on my phone that often anymore.
Must be nice.
What happens when you're in a relationship? Everything just goes down in terms of the time you spend. You have more free
True.
time, dog.
Is that true though?
I mean, for me, it's
I see where you're coming from.
yeah.
It
So
certainly is true to some degree.
I mean, I don't think I
um,
Yep.
So
I don't see how.
but yeah, so I was
not for-
It depends
me
what
yet.
you was doing with your time.
Not for
Yeah.
how my lifestyle is right now, I guess.
But so yeah, going back into that, in the comments, like I even went in a conversation with someone because they were like, "Yeah, James was a little bit like he used guerrilla tactics," and I was like, "Yo,
He was super annoying.
yeah,
Like,
but I understand where he's coming from because like this man put so much time and effort to like gather information to then present. Like it's not something that he just made like it was a passion. It's a passion project for him. That's basically what it was. And then to have someone that's not even a nutritionist. He's not someone in that field like a really high
authority.
person.
He's not an
He's not
authority
one
on
of
the
those
topic.
people. So then for him to come and debunk it, and I
He's
think
a
the frustration.
marathon runner or something. He's like he's an athlete. Like he does something in athletics. I think it's cycling or running or something like that.
I don't.
That's where his thing comes from. He spent some amount of time in the school.
Acupuncture
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. Yeah,
Acupuncturist.
but then for him to come and say like he make those claims and then debunk James's film, and then people going to James and then be like, yeah, you're selling me bullshit, like fuck you, why are you lying, you know? So I understand where James is coming from. What Joe had to do and where Joe was wrong in this, Joe had to then be, because he in the beginning Joe it was 2-on-1 in the beginning because it was Joe coming in from the previous podcast that he had with Cresser, and they were ganging up on James, and that made James be really. You notice that there was a moment that it switched, that he went really like because when it's 2-on-1, you become very aggressive, and that's where it went wrong. Because Joe wasn't really a mediator; he was more. He instigated a lot of the.
I disagree. I see what you're saying. In the beginning, it certainly was more that Joe was leaning with the side, but that like the first issue that they was tackling is something that Joe just agreed with the dude on, because that was the first thing about percentages, where it was like you were saying.
Yeah, see this, okay.
Yeah, they be going on a bit long into this, so it's just me and Woods. But basically, like the first thing that was just about the percentages, whether you're saying does this cause cancer or not cause cancer, and it was arguing where you have like there was one thing saying 17%, it showed an increase. I forget the numbers exactly, but that point in particular, just that was one thing that Joe agreed with the Cresser dude on, and like, they just stuck on that 1 point for a very like a half an hour, 45 minutes or something. So it would look like Joe was ganging up on the dude, but Joe just didn't agree with the man on that point. They just stuck there really, really long.
But the thing is, that's what made James very defensive. You understand? So that's where it went wrong, because you gotta be the mediator in a sense.
But this was something we wasn't even supposed to be talking to.
I know. But I mean, this is the Link Up podcast. Tangents is a thing.
I'm just trying to, get to a conversation to bring the rest of the crew back in on the conversation. Yeah. I don't mind going in on this because I saw it, but
I have very fun.
So we already the folding pizza. We want to talk about folding pizza.
I think we got better topics than that for today.
28 minutes in. The other one, coffee or tea.
Yes.
These are the topics that we have today.
Yes.
Then again, leave it out saying anything.
What is the superior drink?
Tea.
Coffee or tea?
I can't believe we're getting this for
and
tea.
Why do you find that it's one or the other?
Because tea got health benefits. Coffee is addictive. And, well, I mean, it's supposedly got benefits as well, but I see more benefits, health benefits with tea than coffee. But normal tea, not milk tea. I know shit about milk tea.
Are you drinking tea for the health benefits?
I ain't drinking tea, period. But people that do drink tea,
so why do you
Wait, the man just said he drinks tea because of the health benefits, and then he doesn't.
I mean,
he voted
tea.
He voted for tea because of
the health benefits.
That was very implied.
No, but then you said.
You see.
Got a question, was the superior
drink? But if they say me, then
no, but then you said, like, I noticed, like, health benefits from drinking tea. So I would assume.
Because I see people that's when they start drinking tea.
Oh, so you mean as a third party, but not as someone
I don't drink either.
Okay,
I don't drink coffee and I don't drink tea. So, I mean, I kind of out of this conversation either way.
What do you drink, Kana?
Juice.
Not even water.
Juice and water.
You drink iced tea?
Here and there,
yeah. You drink some type of tea then.
But I mean, maybe that's why I fall more on the tea side.
For me, I go coffee. Like in recent times, I've definitely been drinking a lot more coffee than
I probably
tea.
should start drinking coffee.
Like it became my routine. The first thing I do is like coffee and a joint. Like that's morning routine pretty much.
You drink it with milk or without?
Almond milk. Sometimes I drink it without. It depends.
I
like
don't
if I
underst-
happen to run out of milk, then I'll just drink it. But generally speaking, but for me, the milk is more of a temperature regulator. Like,
Why don't you just
not a
wait?
tasting.
Why don't you just wait?
cause that
until
shit
it
can
gets-
take forever. Or I could either just use cold thing, put some coffee, and then put that to get it to the perfect time so I could drink it immediately. Or I could just stay there
but
waiting.
But no, you're talking about coffee. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought you were talking about milk. I mean, tea. I don't understand the whole milk and tea. I don't like that concept. Just
Yeah, milk and
just-
tea is weird.
It's
for
like
sure.
rice and soup. I don't understand. Like I know it's a big thing. I
Yeah.
don't
I
understand.
love rice and soup, but we're not talking about that right now.
No, but that was me. I just don't understand the combination. Like it don't club with me.
I mean,
Tea is cool for the nighttime. To me, coffee is morning, and if it's nighttime, I drink tea. And for me, there's be more something, at least usually for a body temperature regulator. Like if it's cold and I want something to drink, make a cup of tea.
I mean, chocolate
Sip on
milk,
it.
hot chocolate milk.
yeah, but
I
that's
don't
like
drink
coffee
milk.
too.
Well, like, I don't drink milk no more. Like,
Yeah, and
yesterday I had one of them little Starbucks cappuccino things for the first time in like a long time, and
tastes bad, right?
I drink halfway and I throw away the rest because I was like, the taste. I haven't had
Yep.
milk, the taste of milk in so long. It was like it was making me feel like I wanted to vomit.
Yeah,
Literally.
it tastes bad. Like when you
It just was making me feel like
But
nauseous.
then
in
now
a
that you
way,
say
like.
that, I've been on this milk trip for at least a good 2 years now. So I don't know what normal. Well,
Like,
we
for-
used to consider.
for
normal.
me,
Like, I was
because
just in an Albert time to go and pass, and I was like, let me try it because I used to drink them before, and I was just like,
Now you
why
got me.
not?
Now you got me.
like for me, it was the
interested. I
same
wanna
thing
do the
because
same.
like in my household, like there was a moment that my family went to like 100% skimmed milk, and like in the beginning that was a little rough because like like it tastes completely different to regular milk. But once you get accustomed to skim milk and then you go back to like regular milk, that shit tastes so heavy. And now that I don't drink milk at all, like I know, like I can even notice like when
We
the
used to do almond milk,
when
right?
almond
Coconut and them ones.
coconut milk, like rice milk, I explore.
What's
man.
your favorite, honestly? Like of the coconut, the rice,
Oat milk?
the
Oatmeal?
Oatly thing.
Oatly or just regular? Yeah, oat milk is the best milk. I
I
even
never
make
did
my
the
own
oat-
oat milk at home
I mean,
with
never
my
did
pressure
the oat
cooker.
milk.
if they got almond milk, I would assume oat milk is a thing.
Oat milk is the easiest one to make. You can make it at home by yourself. You just take some oat. If you have a pressure cooker, even better. You put some oats or water. I throw some cinnamon sticks in there just for added. Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to being in the kitchen, I need to be supervised like I's 5. I have the culinary skills of Stevie Wonder.
This guy. Stevie Wonder.
Hey, for all you know, that man might be a beast in the kitchen. Eh?
Chef. My guy like
Cooking
that.
it up, guy.
There's
hacking
no
everything.
way
You can see the-
could tell me Stevie Wonder in the fucking kitchen cooking. There's no fucking
You
way.
know the Blind Bandit? Do you know Toph? Daredevil. These blind people just do amazing things.
There's
I'm just
no
saying.
fucking way
You don't know
could
what
tell
Stevie
me
doing.
that Stevie Wonder is in the kitchen cooking.
You don't know what Stevie
Piano,
doing.
that's already a stretch.
Not many. That was just like typing on a keyboard. People don't look to
People
type on a
don't-
keyboard.
I don't-
Yeah, but the
people
way he-
with sight don't look to type on a keyboard. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's to me that's still an amazing feat. Exactly, because I have sight
you
and I
can't
can't
like
fucking.
on not like a keyboard, musical keyboard,
Can't
like
you
a
just-
regular.
No,
Like,
I
keyboard.
mean like
looking-
Stevie Wonder piano.
I know, but I'm asking you a regular keyboard, like for typing purposes, like a computer keyboard.
I just
Can
look-
you type blind
I
on
don't look. I had like they
I
did
used to
a
be able
class
to. I think I just look now.
that? Like for
at my
me,
school. They gave us classes to type blindly.
Yeah, me too. But I mean, they didn't stay.
for me, it's just a time thing. Like at this point, like looking down in a way it takes more time than just like I just type and it just works.
The only time I look down is when it's when I off.
yeah, when you
So-
realize that
so
your
when
hand
something's
just position
wrong. Wait.
and it's just
it-
completely wrong because your
Yeah.
hand just like one. Yeah,
I'm pretty
I
sure
know what you're talking
at
about.
a type like this.
No,
Why
man.
not?
Nah.
I'm pretty sure.
Nah,
If
man.
I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure at a type like this.
You boy,
How
that
you
look.
do it all your, how you did all your research paper, like your papers and shit for school? Like.
Shit must have took a
Impossible.
lot of time.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
I don't-
Your keyboard can move.
Yeah, there's a wireless one, but just don't press space.
Actually, I know. Leave it there.
There's a lot of buttons. There's a lot of buttons you should
press
press.
space.
Leave that shit alone.
Like there's a lot of buttons. I realize you shouldn't
I
press.
just finger it. Pause.
Okay, boomer.
That's disappointing. See, that's appropriate use of the word. That's like very boomer like tendencies right there.
Very true.
Like that whole
But
movie
yeah,
is
no,
typing
but
on
honestly,
that.
that's how it is type.
That's disappointing, child. Like that's disappointing. I feel like us in this modern generation, we should have like typing on a lot.
You know, we should. You should. The keyword should.
You the first person I talking to that I hearing this from.
But we
like,
we should do a lot of things in life, and it don't end up happening. But in my defense, the only defense I have is that when I get taught like that as well. We used to be like, you can't look down, you have to be like the time test
Palms
types,
on
all
the-
that kind of all that kind of shit. We had that as well.
I never had that test.
But my thing is, I used to still make a good bit of mistakes because I was more focused on going fast. So even though I still got the mode or the thing, making the mistakes and pressing backspace all the time actually takes more time for me than doing this.
You play games on your computer ever?
Nope.
I think that's the biggest thing for me. There's a
that
time
make-
period
that
I was
makes
only
sense.
gaming on my computer and like you need to like all
you
my,
can't be
all my
watching- you can't be
shortcuts
watching,
all my
yeah,
shortcuts
yeah.
were like custom, so I had to get accustomed to it. So now it's like
But
nothing.
I can understand that. But you see, as a type of person too, like I never used to switch to like the configuration of my remotes because that's just too much work.
Exactly.
I should just stick to the basic all the time,
You know,
like regardless of the fucking game.
But
boy.
PC is different.
Yeah, with PC you have to. I always, even if you use a controller, I always did like put my controls keybind and everything.
But now,
Sometimes it's better for you because then like no one can play Switch Smash Brothers on my Switch.
yeah, but see, that's a good and a bad thing. Nobody could. You just can't go pick up and play with anybody. You have to
I mean,
go
you
back
just
in
go
the
with the
settings
controller and
and
then
that's a whole lot. That's unnecessary.
I hated people like you.
Yeah, wait, you wasn't one of them.
Nah. Like what the special setup control? Nah.
I swear it was you,
Imran
Mario,
and thing,
Gordo for sure.
The games where that was necessary, I never used to play. I know Imran and them I used to do that fuck for Tekken, like Tekken in particular.
Yeah.
For which-
No, but it was
which
handy.
button
It was
to do the
handy though.
grabs and
The
things
grab,
like that.
like the 2-button
Yeah.
grab is the 1-button
And
grab was a
every
lot
time
handier.
Imran or Ali still play before the match started, is like they readjusting, resetting the
Okay,
controller to which thing.
That used to take a while.
Smash has
too,
Because like
yeah.
if it
Smash
change,
has
if you playing in a group of people and it's like you lose hand of the control thing, then
That
every
was-
time you
that's
have to
what
take
most
extra time to.
has a good solution to it because like your name is the profile with the controller.
Yeah. Is that so? It'll
So
save
it
the
saves that, so
configuration.
you
is
don't
there.
have to.
True.
So Smash,
but
But the
now-
Smash I was playing, it wasn't like melee. That was when I was really playing Smash.
what?
GameCube, like
In melee?
to reconfigure
Okay.
it was never needed to reconfigure the controls for melee. Like the commands in Smash Bros is really simple. Like Tekken is
certain characters you would change the like people that play like Jigglypuff for example, or Jigglypuff
in the Switch one
Kirby.
maybe
or Kirby, they would like have a specific like because the way you like because their balloon like the way they move is different, so like it's a certain set. I never play with
Okay,
them, so
I feel we're going a little far, but
yeah.
either way, yeah. This is how I do my thesis.
Oh yeah, because I
That's
forget what we
scary,
was
Yeah,
downloading.
exactly.
That's scary.
That ain't even where the conversation start. It
Yeah,
started.
that way
we
it's
still
not-
talking
that's
about
it's
tea and
not
coffee. Rashid didn't even tell me if you like tea or coffee yet.
I am biased. I am a tea man.
You a tea man. You like
Right.
your tea hot or cold or both?
Hot, preferably. And I can drink tea.
All of us just.
I can drink.
It's a conversation about tea and coffee. What do you want out of a conversation about tea and coffee?
you
I mean, I still gotta give my point.
Okay, you had a whole spiel about this. What's your point?
So like, I conflicted, right?
Okay.
Because they're both good, and they're both good, hot or cold.
Okay.
I love
Depends
iced
on
coffee.
opinion.
I love iced tea. I love hot tea, especially Camille tea.
Okay.
Camille tea, even without sugar,
You don't
tastes
like
good.
Chamomile?
I don't know. Chamomile, I don't know.
I grew up with chamomile as well, but I mean,
Chamomile. But
Anyway,
continue.
everybody know what I'm talking
Keep
about.
remembering, things
No,
are
don't throw
different.
that on them. It's all on me, dog. That's me. It's me talking.
Taking responsibility.
Yeah.
I respect it. Accountability.
screw
and
that.
all
I
that.
blame Samantha for my upbringing.
So no accountability on your part. Shucking the blame off.
I am
Straight
definitely
Straight on the island.
what they say, a product of my environment. Definitely.
So
But
what's
yeah,
tea?
so tea, amazing, right? But then coffee, also super amazing and also very versatile when you really think about it. Like, you could have cold tea.
You know what?
ice.
I could leave him go because I feel like we had this
You
once
could
in a
have
long time.
you could
So
have
we
cold
leave him-
tea with ice, and they call it iced tea. Very appropriate. You could have a smoothie. Call it frappuccino.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you there on one thing because I disagree with you on a particular point. To me, they're both terrible in their cold form if it wasn't made that way.
No,
Yes.
no, coffee.
Yes.
Coffee. If
if
it
it was
gets
supposed to
stale,
be-
just throw some ice in it. Amazing.
I don't know about that.
Have
To
you
me,
ever tried it?
I did throw
I
away
mean,
the
I guess
coffee.
that's why he said he
One-
Yeah,
like,
but that's the thing. Like
once
when
it gets cold, I throw away the coffee because it's like I'm not gonna reheat
'Cause-
this. Let me just make a fresh cup of coffee.
Like, the
and I'm gonna drink
worst-
that
the
or a fresh
worst
cup
thing
of
to
tea.
do-
They're both terrible once they're not at the hot
Look,
temperature anymore.
no, the thing is with coffee, I agree. Like when it's room temperature, it's not drinkable. That's why you have to go below room temperature for it to be good. Coffee room temperature sucks. Hands down, it's worse. Then it's worse than tea.
They're both terrible. at
But
room
once
temperature.
when it gets cold, oh god!
Because
Like
I
this-
I
the-
agree
the-
with you. I like iced coffee. I like iced tea. Both of them. I just don't like.
So you know what to try to do next tomorrow? Put ice in your coffee.
I guess.
Yeah, it's amazing. It is.
I feel like I'm probably gonna still throw it away. But
No, like when
Maybe.
it's just it's
I
a
don't
weird
have
thing.
ice. That's the thing. Like,
I
I don't
just-
have an ice tray, and
I just bought an ice maker.
You know, only recently I gave is because I buy a separate freezer that I had an ice tray.
I bought an ice
No, I
maker.
think I had
I gotta buy a new fridge. Man, the freezer part of my thing
You
completely
have
like frozen
anything
over.
else
And
you want to say about this whole tea,
Tea
and
and
coffee
coffee.
thing?
Okay,
I was
so-
a Bush tea supplier in high school.
Well, use a plug then.
Yeah. I had one client, reoccurring. Keep going back.
So you had a whale, basically.
Oh shit, the man do one big drug drop and that's it.
I said reoccurring, he keep coming back.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
That's why he was a whale.
Anyway,
My grandmother had it.
But yeah, I think, like, I want to say coffee, but I love tea too much.
so you make us go through all that to not even come to a fucking conclusion about which one you fucking Jesus Christ is fucking body.
Content kings.
Oh, yo.
Where else you gonna get
Yo,
content like this?
What
Where
even
else
is
you
this
gonna get
episode
content
today?
like this?
Yo, I don't know. God.
Next topic.
Alright then. So we want to talk about something.
Shit.
One of the most serious topics.
Yeah,
We ready for one of those?
come.
Okay then.
I'm
Well,
still dumbfounded.
we can get to this one. I mean, it's not gonna spend too much time on it, although it is one of the most serious ones. But Juice World has now passed on at the age of 21.
21.
So for the people in the
Yeah,
room,
maybe that was a subject.
Yeah, it was not appropriate. Okay.
how do we feel about the passing of Juice World?
I think I will give my opinion last.
It's a sad thing. I mean, someone, again, I feel like we're going back to this again. Someone young in the industry, showed promise, looked at the man's interview, seemed like a very down-to-earth type of person. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm his biggest fan or whatever, but he had good music, so you would want to see someone like that
Live?
live and make more music, you know. But this just talks about the, sad to say, the culture and what, like, if it's really the case of what people are saying that he passed away due to drug consumption or whatever, I don't know.
Because what they saw was seizures and people assuming that
Yes.
the seizure was triggered by lean.
I don't want to
and stuff.
assume, but let's say if that's the case, then we really
I saw
need
something
to.
about that. They were saying something about he was trying to hide pills,
I see that too.
Percocets from the feds, so then he consumed them, and then that is what triggered the seizure. I don't know how accurate that is. That's just what I happened to see as the cause.
You see,
So I don't want to go too deep into that because we still don't know like the
Yeah.
real facts of it. But if it comes out that it's the case of just drug abuse in general, we need to start talking about the trend of normalizing the abuse or use of substances within the culture. But again, I don't want to control other people's lives.
Kind
but
of want to elaborate on that, Troops?
no, I will give my opinion last.
But it's just a shame to see young people dying early
Yeah,
because of that, if that's the case.
dude is freaking younger than me. That's always weird to see. I ain't really had no connection with the guy. I ain't never really used to listen to the guy music. Of course, I heard it because you're gonna hear a Juice WRLD track here and there. But it's weird because as soon as I saw that he passed away, like I already had assumed like, is this the reason? What I think like is what I'm thinking.
Your
the
mind
reason
went
why
straight
he
to
passed.
drugs, basically.
It went straight. Like if you hear his music, right? A lot of his music just have that have drugs keep coming back.
It's a recurring theme in his music, basically.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He had a song saying something about doing coke with his white friends and then doing something with his black friends, and then it's like that's the hook of the song. Yeah.
King?
I don't have much to say about this, even though it's a music topic, for the simple reason that I didn't listen to him. I don't know much about Juice WRLD. I was aware of him. I know that he was on tour with Nicki Minaj recently. I know he had some big song that was sampling the Beatles or some one of them rap groups. I think it was the Beatles. And that's about the extent of my Juice WRLD knowledge. I never watched an interview with the man, and I never really listened to any of the man's songs. So for me, it's like you say, it's sad that another person in the hip hop culture lose their lives at such a young age, especially. But for me, it's not like it don't feel the way it did when it was like Nipsey or something, because I'm not that personally connected to this artist and what they represent and all of that. Especially like you're saying, because of the assumptions and stuff about it being drug use, and the kind of narrative or what people saying about this dude is stuff like what Rashid just mentioned. I know that much about him because I personally it's like the Uzi Vert type of music. It's like that generation of people that there's a whole lot of drug use. There's all the depression raps and the other music and stuff in general about depression and mental illness and all of these things. So for these people to die of a suicide or a drug overdose or something in that vein is not surprising. It sounds fucked up, but it's not surprising or it's not shocking. But it's still not something where I feel like there's a need to celebrate or, I don't know, be indifferent in a sense. Like, it's still a tragedy that somebody lost their life. Yeah. To me, that's the central point. It's just not that, it just doesn't affect me as personally because I was not attached to the music or this person because I don't know much about them. Kana?
But, okay. More or less, practically feel the same way. It's sad regardless, loss of life, all of that. But just like what King has saying, what like I'm not surprised. Like the man glorifying that fuck in the songs. Granted, cool. Like T.I. and everybody else would be saying, yeah, the music is the substance, is a
reflection of their reality.
There you go. Maybe the man dealing with shit. A lot of shit, I don't know man personally. I never listened to my interviews or his songs. Like King said, that's more of the younger generation that does have that type of genre. I'm not really down with that. But I don't know how people continue to see surprise of this shit just keep happening, Jet. Like these things known to fuck you up. People know that they just fuck you up. And you... To me,
the only thing the way I feel is I don't come down so harsh on that aspect particularly is because I smoke weed. Just because your drug of choice is something like some people drink, I smoke weed. Just because your drug of choice might be Percocets or lean or something else is like...
Yeah, but at the same time, everything in moderation as well.
I understand, but I sin indifferently. Like, I sin and you sin and I just sin indifferently.
But that's the thing. I'm not claiming to say I is no angel either, but I say like you can't be surprised if the man continuously doing this shit and this kind of shit happens. Like,
I'm not surprised that it happened, but I mean there has to be a discussion over it. Like something needs to happen, in my opinion. I don't know what needs to happen.
I understand, but these okay. Let me put it this way.
Ain't nothing gonna happen.
From my view.
And nothing should happen necessarily.
Nothing should happen
because
it shouldn't be something that normalized. No, I mean in terms of care. I know that they don't care, but at the same time, like with power comes great responsibility.
All right, then Peter.
Right? No, I mean in the sense of like that quote is it's a very
it has merit.
There's truth to it.
Yeah.
Like because of like Juice WRLD and all of these people, them like drug use has become super normalized to the point that people are like I'm not saying don't do drugs, but if you're living the
Don't do
lifestyle that you're
drugs.
doing drugs all the damn time and you're like abusing it and that's becoming normalized,
No. Don't do drugs. Weed is a plant.
Biggs, I understand, but you can't just tell people not to do something. But
No, but
they have to understand what they're doing and what the dangers of
No,
it are.
no, but
Are they
you're
really
absolutely
responsible for
right.
normalizing it though?
No,
I
they're not.
get what you're saying, or what Kana was saying about the glamorizing and all of that. But is that really true in the sense of like, or is there any evidence that is really more prevalent? To me, the only thing that changes the type of drug that people are using. Because since jazz was around and shit like that, jazz musicians been on heroin and crack and weed and
That is
like
very
all
true.
kinds of shit.
Yeah,
No,
but we
they
know
on
what-
Molly and pills and
no, okay, I
Percocets
wouldn't-
and those type of things. It's a different drug they on, but
But I would,
Is
I
is it
would,
really
but
any
I
different?
would, I
There's
would argue.
always been the association with music and drugs, things to alter
I
your
would
mind and
argue-
whatnot.
I would argue that back in the jazz, when jazz is never going to be irrelevant, but I mean in the beginning when jazz was really pop,
Mainstream
Yeah.
music.
like the consensus on drugs and what each drug did and how addictive each drugs was not
That clear.
something was
Yeah.
not something that no one knew. People were doing heroin and did not know actually know what the effects gonna be till generations later when
And what's different about now when you have new drugs that people just creating every day, and it's the youth people the young people who
But-
go
but
in the
the-
party
but-
scenes and the clubs and the raves who
alright,
try
let
in
me
whatever
check.
the new drug might be, whether that's Molly or MDMA or acid or whatever. Even though these
Where-
aren't new drugs, but
Where you say new drugs is concerned, I do agree with you on that because they are being
people
they are-
vaping and shit like
people
that.
coming with
And
some-
then
they-
now all of a sudden you see
King,
the
King,
research.
King, what did they get today?
But it's the same thing. It's like a
But
new
no,
drug.
but
where
say
it's
I'm-
supposed to be. This is supposed to be better than smoking. So people started vaping and stuff. And now that people been vaping for a while. You're seeing some studies of like if you're doing this with overuse of vaping and shit like that, the negative side effects because people didn't know.
But
Initially.
that was more because people are undercutting, like in the States. The cases of that was mostly in the States because people were buying
using false products,
using
legit
false
stuff.
products, and the people were cutting. So it was kind of like a drug thing because people were cutting the vape juice and put the vitamin E and stuff like that, and the vitamin E was triggering with something else that caused the problem in the lungs of the people. Then, but that's just a little heads up. Don't buy like if you're putting stuff in your body. Don't buy the cheap stuff. Make sure you're buying it from branded thing. And if the branded people are fucking you over, at least you know where you should go to sue. Just a heads up.
How are you going to sue anybody you getting drugs from unless it's a pharmacy?
I mean, no, but I mean, if you
No,
buy
he's
the
talking
legal
with
stuff
with vapes and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I assume is more what he was
Yes.
referring to. But like, I don't know. I just feel like drugs has always been there. Drugs will always be a thing, especially with music and celebrity and like just the culture that kind of. As an artist, it's one of the things where you don't have the traditional responsibilities that regular people have. So it kind of allows for you to be in an environment where you're just intoxicated all the time, potentially. Like spending all the time in the studio or if you're performing and stuff like that, being on stage is another thing where it might encourage you to drink, especially if you got stage fright or anxiety and thing. If you're like a Summer Walker type of person, I can imagine you just taking a shot every night before you go on stage if you're not that comfortable performing, if you're a new artist and stuff like that.
I used to do that, but I think for me personally, that was me just being accustomed playing drunk. But I unlearned that. I got
And that's
accustomed.
something that you have to do, but it's easy to like get into that habit and then kind of see a correlation where like I'm supposed to be drunk to make music, or like it's hard for some people to unlearn, like you say you was doing, make a separation between the alcohol ain't really helping me, or like for some people it's just easy that I started drinking every time I perform or taking a shot before I go on stage, and it just becomes what you do basically. If you don't stop and think about it and really reflect and see like, do I need the alcohol? Is it helping me in any way? Why am I actually drinking the alcohol? And like, if you asking yourself those questions, you can get to that point.
In actuality, the alcohol was not even helping me. Fun fact, but anyway, that's for another topic.
And all of that. All that comes with reflection and whatnot. So I think we've said what needed to be said on this topic.
Yeah.
Sounds so.
Rest in peace.
Want to tackle the last topic, being the Siman situation?
Good.
Alrighty then. So basically, this is a Siman specific topic. This is something that I can't tell you exactly when it happened, but the wifey I bring to my attention earlier today, and we was talking about it, shared in the group chat to get some of the homies' opinions on it and whatnot. And what happened is a guy named Viren, he's currently running on the Smart Christian Party, and what he did was he put out some lights on the Jose Lake ballpark, on the court at Jose Lake, Smart basketball court basically, and the lights have been down for like 2 years plus, because it's like before Irma, the lights wasn't up and they still haven't been up. So he took it upon himself to put up some solar powered lights, because it's something that it don't cost the government any money. It's not pulling current from their type of thing. It's a Caribbean island, so there's more than enough sunlight and stuff like that. So it's a sustainable solution that he just took it upon himself to kind of do. And basically he got a letter from the National Sports Institute, kind of, I guess, I don't even know what's the right word, but basically saying that what you're doing is nonsense. So I'm going to read a little bit of the letter, and then we could go into discuss. To me, this was one of the most interesting paragraph. Even though it is applaudable that individuals or groups wish to assist with repairs at our facilities, it is unwanted that this be done without consulting the NSA. Mm-hmm. Also, the usage of the government-owned facilities for political campaign is not allowed. The facilities are a political neutral ground. You have illegally placed lights at the Jose Lake basketball court. This is without permission from the NSA. Also, the usage of the field is managed by the NSA. It is impossible that you are inviting the general public to come out to the court. You do not have permission to be in the Jose Lake Stadium after it closes. Even though it is government-owned facility, it is not open 24/7 to the public. There are regulations tied to it. We are of the opinion that you acted without exploring the rules and regulations on our government-owned facilities and did not bother to approach the authority of said facilities, which is the NSA. We consider your actions unlawful and disrespectful. We urge you to come to the office and have this situation sorted out, for you are not allowed to use this facility or any of the government-owned facilities for political campaigning. We wish to have this discussion with you on Monday 16. Monday 16. They didn't even put the month. I mean, like, that was weird. Monday 16, 2019 at 10 a.m. at the NSA office at the Wrld Elite Sports Complex.
So any 16ers on a Monday you can show up.
Basically, I just feel like that's a little weird. I mean, I just realized that they didn't have the month.
I mean, they had the years.
Yeah, but
look,
because they were saying that him, because of the fact that he's on a Christian party and he put the lights up, that is a political move. It's unwanted and all of that.
I mean, regardless of it being a political move or not, like, he should have still at least gone to the government or whatever and
contacted the organization.
Yes, to tell them, look, I'm planning on doing this. Like say, yeah, the kids they play basketball here, but like when it gets dark, like, no one can play. There's no lights. There's nothing. I have this plan. Like, you have, like, if you're going to do something on someone's piece of land, and in this case the government's owned land, you need to go to the government and tell them what you're planning. I get where that is coming from, and I understand also it's kind of shitty because this, like, I don't think I don't know the man obviously, but I don't think he did it for political reason. If he was legit playing on that field, like. Before he even thought about it, and he just said, you know what, let me put up lights because, like, I use this, I frequent here a lot, so let me fix it up a bit.
Exactly what you mentioned was one of the points of discussion, like, in our group chat when we was discussing it amongst ourselves, that most people kind of agree that, it's clear this is a political move because it's election time right now on St. Martin, you're running on the slate, and this happened, like, all coincides with the time that you're running on one of these parties. So that's why people kind of see it as, like, it's undeniable basically that this is politically motivated.
It's hard not to see it as that.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't, it's hard not to associate that. Even if it wasn't, it's hard not to associate it. Just
it's one of those things where he lives in the area. He is a basketball player. He is somebody that grew up playing on that court basically. So, like, there is some of it is genuine. I personally believe that, he does kind of care about what happened on the court, but you can't help but look at it politically because of the timing of it.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just one of those things.
Kind of wrong. The way he approached it is not the right way politically to approach it.
He is wrong. Just plain and simply put, he is wrong.
If it was your land and you were planning to destroy it, like, for example, you were planning to destroy it and put something else, and you find something on your piece of land, you would feel some type of way.
I
So
I agree with that part. I feel he is wrong. That part is undoubtable. But to me, I just feel like the phrasing of certain things in the letter is a bit strong, in a sense.
Which
Like,
parts?
I just feel the way they say, while it is applauded, it is unwanted and this and that. I feel like it could have been phrased differently in a sense. It could have just been like something. We appreciate you taking initiative and wanting to make some change in your community, but there are protocols and stuff like that involved.
but
So
also
what
have
you
to keep in mind,
doing?
like this is basically a. I'm assuming the Christian party is not the party that's the majority right now. No.
I can't probably say that, but they're not. I don't know. I don't want to say it's not something and I just be wrong because I haven't been paying attention all
Owned
that
by a
detail to
Prime
which
Minister,
who
The leader of the Christian party.
again. Why
I
I don't
don't
want
know.
to say because I know there's been a whole lot of change. Who's interim? Who's what? Like, I stopped paying attention to who is actually in what position because if y'all can't stay there for 4 years, it's a little taxing on me to try to keep up with who exactly is holding what title and what position with all the ship jumping, who changes party, and like, I just can't pay attention to it all. Like, certain little parts of what goes on in Sudan politics, I try to look into if that particular aspect of conversation interests me, that idea that is being discussed or whatever. But in general, I really don't follow Sudan politics like as properly as I should.
Yeah.
My
Maybe
question-
the head of the sports whatever or is more associated to a certain type of party. So him looking at a competition doing something during election time period. Like maybe like it everything is perspective in that sense. The person who wrote the letter could feel some type of way.
But that was another thing. The party that he himself is running for was responsible for looking after like sports facility lights and stuff. Because the Christian party, for the past 2 years, like there was a video basically that came out with him talking to one of his party members and some people on the radio and stuff about this specific issue. And in that video, they was highlighting the dude, Chacho Peterson. You might be familiar, but he was talking about his party being responsible for dealing with the maintenance of sports facilities and all of that because it fell under their jurisdiction when they was in Parliament for the past 2 years. Over the same, so basically, his own party, he making his own party look bad by highlighting the fact that these lights wasn't on in a way. So it's a political move against his own party. So it's kind of like, because his people was in control. He didn't know he was going to run. He wasn't on the party at the time. Because this is the first year the Viren guy is running. But that's basically like what it was. So you making your own people look bad.
Yeah,
Election time.
politics.
My question is, if even if you're gonna do it for political gain, how are you gonna run for politics and not check the laws?
There was also the part that was mentioned where, at least in regards to the campaigning, because that was a lot of what they were saying in the letter as well, talking about that. That was in reference to the fact that he had called some meeting or whatever for like one of the campaign meetings, was telling people to meet up on the court on Woodsy Lake. And in his defense, according to him, there was a whole bunch of other parties that did the same thing. That was like, okay, come out to the St. Peter's basketball court at this right time. The party come out and we be talking about our ideals and goals and all of that type of thing. So he's basically saying that if other parties doing the same thing, that they meeting up on government-owned property without permits or whatever, without permission, why he got it?
I mean, you don't like, but that's the thing. Like,
why is he the only
is
one
he
getting...
is he selling something there? Like, because you need permission, you need permits for certain reasons. Like, if I say, yo, let's meet up, let's do an event and let's meet up at the damn square, and you're with a group of 20 people, I don't need a permit for that.
And
20 people, I'm not protesting. Like, you need a permit to protest. But if I'm saying, yo, we're meeting up here, we'll
Which
talk
to me
here.
is one of the most retarded things. But anyway, continue.
Yeah.
That's another topic.
Yeah, I know, man. But if you just meeting up somewhere to talk, like if I'm telling you, a group of 20 guys, yo, let's meet up at the ballpark and talk.
I get what you're saying, and that's basically what the kind of where the issue lies. Because if other people are campaigning or saying we're gonna have a political rally, basically over here, come meet up here.
Did he say
it was a political rally, like a campaign?
Yeah, but if
it's for a political event, basically, there are other parties on the island that was using, whether it's a basketball court, something as like public land, the same thing like what he did, to also do the same thing.
If
To
you're
me,
doing an event, then yes. If you're doing an event where you're selling stuff, like where there's food being sold, with a venue with speakers, and
I agree, but to
then,
me the
yes,
main
you need
issue
to ask
is
permission.
if other people doing the same thing without permission, why am I the only one being the
Yeah,
one called out on it?
that's
To
bias.
me, there is like that's where I see an issue. I agree. It is if you don't got a permit, you can't just be doing these events and putting them on and use like. But then just be consistent with the ruling. That's my only thing.
Yeah.
Like,
But it
if
depends
it's an
on
issue for
how-
him. It should be an issue for everybody else. Although I don't know if it is factual that he know the other people that are doing these things doing it without the permit. Because maybe they have a permit and he just don't know they're doing it like that.
But also the thing is like, how was his event? How was that meeting looking like? Like, was it? Did
I
he
don't
put a
know.
podium? Was there speakers? Like all of that makes a difference. If there was none of that there, and they just met up there, it's a government owned property. But guess why? It's a government owned property for people to go there. So if he didn't put anything on the property other than his legs and his feet and probably the backpack that he had on, then there's no problem over there. But yeah, I ain't a lawyer. I might be talking out of my butt, but it's all on me.
But in general, I believe you're pretty much on point. Like, it's simple rule is it's not your property. Like the analogy you
permission.
gave, you can't just modify somebody. I can't go up in your house and just be like, I feel like putting some lights up in your
I
house.
feel like putting a stripper pole in the middle of the bed. Like,
you can't just do that shit. So I get it from that point that he's in the wrong. From a moral perspective, you can see the value in what he's doing. If it's your responsibility to make sure the lights and the courts and stuff operating properly, and the court has been without lights for 2 years plus, but you telling me it's unwanted and it's your responsibility to take care of the lights. But
But
what
you
the
ain't
fuck
care
have you
of
been
taking
doing
care
for the
of
past 2
lights.
years plus?
Yeah.
If it's your responsibility and you're acknowledging that it's my job,
This could
don't do
work.
it. Don't do
This-
my job for me. It's my job.
this
But
could work in his
Yeah, but
favor.
that don't matter.
This
You
could
still
work
gotta go
in his
to the
favor
legal
a lot.
procedures.
Just optics wise.
Yeah, and now I hear talking about it, giving him promotion when it's like, I ain't not necessarily endorsing him as a candidate. I don't know what his political beliefs are or anything like that. I just know the dude because he around like our age. I think he younger than myself. But yeah, it was just brought to my attention. I thought it was an interesting situation.
Again, I don't know how you gonna run for office and not check the laws.
I agree. Because to me, that's the main
Or
thing
maybe he knew-
that's hampering his case. To me,
Maybe
that's the
he
main
knew,
thing
maybe he was
that's weakening his case. Like, if he at least had reached out first and then see, like, okay, they wasn't interested, or they give him some nonsense answer, like, yeah, we're gonna fix it 3 years from now. Like, if something like that at least had happened before, it strengthens your case a lot to be like, okay, well, I tried to do it the right way. I mean, are you watching the court here in darkness for 2 years and y'all didn't get back us? If it was a situation like that, he has a
It
much
could
stronger
also be
case.
that he knew, but he just did it for promotion's sake.
And that's where people see the issue in. If that, like, it's just a political move, you just decide, because now you on the slate, you up and decide to put these lights up on
He's
your own
running for
thing.
politics. He made a political move. Guys,
That's what happens.
that's
when
what
you run for
happens.
politics.
Yeah. Like,
It's sad. It take an election to come for them. They had
I've
to
seen
fight
people
some
throwing like Facebook statuses like, we should have election every year because only now politicians actually doing stuff like fixing lights and whatever else.
The
Like,
stop, the only
but the thing is,
on the island actually works.
the thing is, and this goes back to the people. You don't keep your politicians accountable,
You're very true.
and that's how
Yeah,
they get
very
away with a launch of shit that they do. Because if you
A
keep
lot.
them, yeah, I got
Caribbean
braces,
person.
leave me alone.
We address this.
I Caribbean person and I got braces. Though.
Yo,
Like the world is working against me, but it's all me.
The
all
world
good.
working against you.
But yeah, man, just hold your politicians more accountable, and you would see a lot more change because you have the power. You can vote these people in and
How
out.
do you hold the politician accountable?
Protesting, making their life miserable. If you know somebody's holding out something, you know where the building is. You know where these people have to go to work. Make their life miserable. Protest. Shit gonna happen if everybody protesting, but no, people lazy. Oh, no, look, a group of people gonna do is fine.
That's
I
a
was
problem.
gonna say something, but
That's usually how
I
it goes.
refrain from bashing the island.
And then there's a lot of
No, but this
situations.
is just people. This is just
Yeah, but
Things in general,
special.
There's a lot of situations where you would see people who might complain, people might have an issue with it and all of that. But to actually leave your house and protest, or that might be like a lot of times for protests to be effective, what time are you protesting is something where I might have to leave work. So now I'm missing out on work to go protest some shit because when I got bills to pay and all these things. So who got time to go there and protest?
I understand, but
I'm not saying
at
you're
the same
wrong.
time, yeah.
I
At the
mean-
same time, like if it's a dire situation, if it's something that
Yeah, indeed.
that your island really needs, for example, like then like sometimes you gotta risk it for the biscuit. Like some things are really important. I don't.
Things not say man bad, but they ain't bad enough. Like
Imagine
it's something
People
I've
so
heard people.
comfortable.
Yeah, it's something that I've heard people say before, and it's like this was years ago and whatnot, but I never really took it into. It's like it really is true. Like people, it's bad enough that we can complain on Facebook. But it's not bad enough that we want to actually do something like
about
the
it.
actual work that's necessary to make the change and all of that.
we can't really say that much no more with the whole young candidates, the flock of young candidates there.
But I don't even know about
Take
that
it.
because it's what like
Hey, it's
I-
better,
I-
it's
I'm
better than
happy.
dealing with the old.
I'm
old
happy
people.
there's this influx of young candidates that coming out and joining all the political parties and whatnot because we've been saying we want to see new faces and now we're being presented with the new
And
faces.
there's a whole bunch of fuck.
So I am happy for that. But it's like, yes, we said new faces, but I don't mean pull any and everybody. Like your little cousin from on the block, like that's not who we voting for. Like just because he young don't mean I voting for your cousin from on the block. Like he has no credentials, no qualifications, can't articulate his goals and visions properly. Like I ain't voting for this nigga. I'm sorry.
Yo, what little cousin of the block makes a mixtape, drops. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm the little cousin from the block. I used to have a little.
And that's who they want us to elect.
It's a
Dude who just come from dropping the mixtape and thing last week.
It's a good thing it was good DJ boy. But I think on that note,
Let's start wrapping up. Unless anybody got any final thoughts on this matter, basically we all agree he's wrong. It seems like
bye.
Yeah,
I just
morally he might be in the right, but legally you really got no leg to stand on.
There's a guy been saying I can't even say if he's morally in the right either because
I mean, it's a political move, but at the end of the day, like it's benefiting, like let's say the kids that play on the
community.
park and stuff. Like it's not
Better
it's
than nothing.
Yeah, it's a good
definitely that's definitely an argument.
According to him, different people have been coming up to him asking him like, "Someone can go to this court and this court," because you know the situation of Simon courts is like majority of them shit ain't got lights. The people can come fix it once, and then like 2 weeks later they vandalize because it full of graffiti or they tear down the nets or whatever might have happened to the court, and then it just stays that way for
But that's the
forever
thing.
till election time come around
They
again.
want us to
and-
think up the fix that they want the codes to get fixed up, but they don't deserve. They don't do what it takes to get up.
I mean, it's a small group of people, always the ones that mess it up for the rest.
And
Like,
like,
I wouldn't
was
say that
talking with the
everybody-
wifey is a complex thing because you could put a lot of blame on whatever institution the NSI. You could put a lot of blame on them saying what the fuck y'all was doing for the past 2-3 years for it to get to this point that he took it upon himself to put the lights up. But like I said, with the vandalism and shit like that, I've seen it where the codes get freshly painted, like new nets, new benches, they like a remodeling of a code, and then within no time it's vandalized, and it's like that shit like that discourages you. What's the point of me fixing the shit if like within no time the whoever it might be not vandalize the shit and
That
they
could
look like
also
a
be a
mess
political
again?
move right there.
That they getting somebody to vandalize it.
Not they, but maybe
So
the
not-
opponents.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it goes that far. Like, I mean, just knowing
if
certain
other peop-
youth on St. Martin and what they do when they ain't got shit to do.
Yeah, but anything. A lot of people do things for money now. Huh?
Yeah. And maybe some of that is it. You get some disenfranchised youth who ain't got shit to do, just chilling out on the block and be like, yo, here's a 20, here's a 50 or something.
It's better than the alternative. They could be robbing somebody.
Can't hear you though. Like,
I'm sorry. No, I tell you, sorry.
we wrapping up soon, man.
But yeah, no, it's better than alternative. Whether it's they robbing casinos or robbing people or doing this whole drug.
So
robbing casinos?
But okay, but so, let me try to understand this. So you're saying if I am out here taking money from potential political candidates to go vandalize government property, this is better than me robbing? Cause like this is what you're saying, right, Kana?
Yeah. I stand by my statement.
That's all you.
It's all me. It's all me. I stand by my statement.
Okay. I can't say I agree with the logic.
I understand.
I mean,
I just find
they both fucked up. They both pretty bad.
They both fucked
They're
up.
both
But
equally
I
as
feel
bad.
like as a politician, if you go into things like that, I mean, you get decently paid. I mean, you choosing to do that.
We don't know what they're getting paid, but
We do know what they're getting paid.
I mean, not a politician down, but if you paying some dude on the block
Yeah.
to go vandalize a basketball court because
Yeah, but then you only fixing
much
you
does a
only
game-
fixing
how
the
much- how much does
you
a
only
game
fixing the
cost?
basketball court because you have that exposable income because you want those votes.
How much-
If you get vandalized and you do not have your own pocket, I ain't give a
How
shit.
much does
It's
a game
sorry.
cost in St. Martin?
a game.
Like a video game.
Depends. Well, it goes from
Again,
What
back,
else to bet if it
back
was like
when we was there
$60?
still, it was like between
Around
by
60.
if it was like a hot game, it would be like 70. So between let's give it that rate between 60 70.
Yeah, they probably give him like a 50. Like just enough to
Big
like.
man, look right. I wouldn't be surprised if he get a 4 card. Okay,
That's still going on?
Yeah, I feel like, well, I can't even say that, but I feel like most of what going, people still on
Are you
prepaid
sure?
vibes on man.
I used to know girls
I still
that
am
would
prepaid now.
like go on dates with man just to
True.
get like a phone card. No.
I mean, they got girls that are going date with man just for food. So I mean, I ain't surprised.
Yeah, that's what Tinder
That
is
was
all
a
about.
weird time period in my life.
I mean, the food thing ain't stopped. It's still going on.
No, but I mean just the phone card thing. The
Yeah,
amount
I
of
had-
shit people
I had-
used to
I
do
had
for
that
phone,
too. Mm.
just getting top up on the phones was weird.
That's money you don't have to spend.
Yeah.
No, but like for me it was weird because I a sheltered kid, right? So like when I got thrust into like college, like
I get
college
hustled a
time
couple
period,
times, yeah.
high school, I mean time period was weird for me, dog. I was socializing moments I was not supposed to socialize. I was
Wait,
seeing things I was not
wait,
supposed to
wait,
see.
wait. What? You were socializing moments that you wasn't supposed to socialize?
Like, you know when you come from a school where like when it's free time you just sit in the corner and you read a book and then you go from that to like a high school.
Sometimes you say book, you just X me out that whole scenario.
Well, I went from being in a very school where like everybody was just chill and like you could read a book or everyone was just
You was
playing
around
video
nerds
games.
before, then you was exposed to the world.
Yeah, and then going to that to like people getting blowjobs and stuff. Like,
For
yeah,
a phone card.
yeah, like
I mean, like,
man got a culture shock.
understandable.
Yeah, it was wild.
I mean, you know, you would think in private school it'd be a little bit different, but not really.
And on that note of people getting blowjobs for phone cards, I think that's where we should wrap up.
I mean, I think it's still happening, you know.
That's all on
But
there.
I'm
yeah,
surprised.
that's all them.
Yes.
As long as people still want to call, and as long as some people still want blowjobs, you know,
Yeah, I
The
think-
transaction will keep going.
Yeah.
Like, especially now living in the Netherlands, there's just the thought of a phone card is weird.
Yeah. You know what? That was funny. I used to have to do that like in 2011. I used to legit go by Leica and like get a phone card.
yeah.
Oh, no, not by Leica, by the stores and get the
Yeah.
Leica phone card.
I don't think we're talking about anything else, so I think we should just wrap this episode up, you know. And
Yeah, I mean,
I show the people who listening, they're probably getting bored of our conversation.
nah, man, they reminiscing,
about phone cards,
they reminiscing
it's the
on the
nostalgia
phone
of phone
cards.
cards.
Yeah.
Hey, a lot of
It's
people
better than
who
tea
didn't-
versus coffee. I mean,
Hey, that was a dope conversation.
I'm sure everybody
That was
that's
deep
listening
and
that's from
riveting
St. Martin that
content.
was our age have a phone card story.
yeah, phone
Whether
card
it's
story.
getting the phone card or giving the phone card.
And HIPAA, that website, the free, sending,
From
like,
UTS.
sending the free messages and thing. If you want no money on your phone,
And there's
Yo,
also,
that's
there's also a
what
handful,
cause problem. Look at me, this is a whole nother topic.
and there's
People,
also a handful
thank-
of people that like want phone cards but can't get it.
thank you for going through this episode 101 again.
Donations.
we already handled the plug, so ain't none of that necessary at this point. We normally do it in the end, but we did it in the beginning this time. So none of that necessary, so we can just sign out and see you peoples the next time we link up.
Bless.
Peace.